Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. Why do you want what you want? Your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your desires, your goals, the things you spend your time pursuing. Why do you want them? Many people think they want the relationship because of love, or the business because of the money, the achievement for the recognition, the healing so it won't hurt anymore. But what's the one foundational piece underneath all of that? Now, it's this. If I get that thing, I will be different. I'll be more confident, secure, peaceful, valuable, significant, complete. But if you continue finding yourself in experiences where you overperform, you overfunction, and you are overwhelmed, well, what you're actually wanting to achieve isn't what your subconscious is really chasing. Because somewhere along the way, something painful happened. A betrayal, a rejection, an abandonment, a painful disappointment, continued criticism, a loss that you cannot get over. And when it happened, you did not simply learn something about the world. There was a decision made about you. And the experience left you asking the question, am I lovable? Do I matter? Am I worth choosing and protecting? Am I worth the effort? The event? Well, it happened years ago. For some of us, decades ago. But the question remained, what does this mean about me? And now, without even your awareness factoring in, your life is organized around the answer. A lot of people think that they're pursuing, well, a relationship, an opportunity, an apology, recognition, understanding, love. But it is just different ways to answer that old question. What does this mean about me now? If they choose me now, oh, maybe I'll finally know I'm enough. And if they understand my pain now, maybe I'll finally know I matter. And if they love me now, oh, I know I'm accepted. And if they apologize now, maybe I'll finally know it wasn't about my worth. The goal isn't the goal. The goal is trying to get an answer to that question. And that's when we continue to try to get the bad to be good to us, because we subconsciously think that the source of the wound is also the source of the answer. A parent failed you, but they can't answer the question because they should have never put you in the position to begin with to answer that question. The partner who betrayed you, they can't answer the question. They've already proven that what they do is engage in deceit. The boss who overlooked you cannot answer the question, or the friend that rejected you. You keep looking for resolution and certainty. But what you're really wanting is a different answer that is going to revoke the original decision. And then life, well, it is spent in waiting for things to be different once you get the goal. But you're going to be in the journey to get the goal, the hope, the wish, the dream, the desire longer than in the actual achievement itself. And so your energy gets invested into people, places, and things that have repeatedly demonstrated they cannot provide what you're really asking for. But you try, boy, I'll give it to you. You over-explain, you overperform, you overfunction, you sacrifice, you prove, you wait, you negotiate, you try harder. And not because you're weak, it's the exact opposite. It's because you are so strong with what happened in the original painful event. But deferred hope makes the heart sick. Hope aimed at the wrong source becomes suffering. The source of the wound was never qualified to answer the question in the first place because someone's inability to love you does not determine your lovability. Betrayal does not determine your worth. Rejection does not determine your significance. Dishonesty does not determine your value. The experience may have caused the question, but it was never qualified to answer. So what answer are you hoping to get? Be real specific. What would this person, place, or thing need to provide for you to finally be at peace? I'll give you an example. So I live in a duplex, and the other side actually went through a foreclosure for 2 years because the owner died. And because the yard was attached to my yard in the front, and then in the back, because at that time there was not a fence between the two properties. It was one big backyard. For 2 years, I maintained it because I cut my own grass. I love being outside, and it's a great way for me to get exercise and enjoy being outdoors and stewarding my yard. So I cut it for 2 years to make sure that the place stayed looking nice. And then somebody bought it a year ago, did not tell me the truth when they bought it. They said they were going to sell it, but instead they decided to rent it. Okay, fine. And I do know that in their rental description, it said you have to have your own lawnmower. But the people who moved in did not. They moved in last summer. And I decided to assist them by continuing to cut our shared front yard. The backyard, they put up a temporary fence, so I only did my side on the back, but on the front, I wanted things to stay nice. And then there were a series of events that happened over the winter where I realized that it may have been the type of personality that was more than happy for others to pick up what they didn't want to take care of. I'm watching my words here. And so when spring came around, I'm like, I'm not responsible for their half of the front yard. What they do in the back behind their fence, I don't care. But the front yard, I'm not responsible for it, but it is a shared front yard. So whatever they do is going to impact my side. Okay. So what would they need to provide for me to finally be at peace? How about take care of your yard, darn it. But they didn't repeatedly. And so I could have become very frustrated and banged on their door and said, you need to take care of this. But when you have somebody committed to not following through on their stuff, well, then getting emotional with them isn't going to change that. And there's another aspect of that. You cannot change somebody's mind when they are, they want to make sure that they misunderstand you. You can't convince them when they want to misunderstand you. So why bother trying? So what answer was I hoping to get? It was, well, clean your stuff up. But that wasn't going to happen unless I overperformed, overfunctioned, and then became overwhelmed. That whole resentful and then contempt. And I do my best to stay out of that. So what would need to happen for me to finally be at peace? Well, somebody was going to have to put pressure on them because evidently they only act on pressure. At least that's what they've done up to this point. So I had to say, what system is in place to put pressure on them instead of me? Oh, wait, yeah, there are neighborhood guidelines that says your grass can't get over 7 inches. Now, I will let you know, the 2 times I've used that system, whenever I documented with pictures, the grass was over a foot tall. So it's not like I was out there with a measuring tape going, oh, you're at 6 3/4, look out. So I was needing a system, because they're not going to take the responsibility. I needed to find something outside of me to handle it. Okay. So that's the first question, is what are you hoping to get? Question number 2, are you relating to reality or possibility? Are you responding to who this person actually is or who you hope they will become? Yeah. So possibility and potential are not the same thing. Everybody has the possibility of going into outer space. Everybody. You got enough money? You'll find somebody that'll put you in a rocket and shoot you off. All right. So possibility says, oh yeah, anybody can do that. Potential says, who is this person really? What attributes do they possess that will actually allow them to follow through and make this happen? Because if we're living by possibility and if we're living by deferred hope on who this person might become, then we're going to continue to reinforce the original decision that we have to be the one to be good. And maybe if we're good enough, the bad will finally see the error of its ways and change. You are a high-level target for these types of people because you are so conscientious, because you are so empathetic. And you typically will not see them coming because they are professionals at the pain they produce. So you're not going to outsmart them. But what you can do is say, oh, continuing to engage with them is only going to reinforce the decision that was made decades ago that was incorrect because of the pain that I was put in at that point in time, which leads us to question number 3. If you stop trying to get this answer from them, what would become available in your life? Where would your focus go? Your energy, your attention, your time, your hope? So those are the questions for awareness. Now, let's talk about 3 steps to begin to stabilize yourself. And I have a gifted hypnosis audio that works with your subconscious to do a reset. Because when you go too far and, oh, if I am good enough, the bad will finally work out. No, it won't. It will not. So when you go too far, you cannot move from pain to progress in a pivot. You need to pause for a reset. And that's what this hypnosis session does for you. And it's my gift. So you can go to my website, dawnlandrum.com. It's in the description down below, and click on the tab, claim your copy. Okay, so let's talk about 3 steps towards stabilization. The first one, what question are you still trying to answer? I am very high on what's known as conscientiousness. Whew, that is a tough word for me to pronounce. I will tell you that right now. Okay, because sometimes I have a challenge with putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Okay. So what question am I still trying to answer? Will they step up and take ownership? Oh, and then when I come across people that do not, oh my goodness. I had a little disagreement with an attorney that I have right now. Because I have the neighbor on the other side of me where I discovered that her fence was in the wrong place. And I told her I would like to put up a new fence along the right property line. And then 2 weeks later, she slapped me with a suit called adverse possession, which means squatters' rights. And one of the things that she has to state that she understands she's doing is knowingly stealing the property. That's the reason why it's called adverse possession. She has to admit that she is stealing it, which is done in court. Amazing. But anyway, I'm talking to my lawyer about a strategy, and I had forgotten that he had sent me an email about the strategy. And in a professional way, I'm going off on him. And he's like, no, this was done, this email, this date. And I came back and I went, I will take ownership where I've been wrong. And I was wrong on that. So the question I'm still trying to answer is, will people take ownership of their own stuff? And usually there's nothing I can do to make them do that, which is the reason why then I have to look at how am I going to continue to engage with them in a way where there's another system or a process that can deal with this, because it's not me. All right. Then the next step for stabilization. The question may be real, but the source is wrong. I am not going to answer the original question I had when I was parentified as a child. That's when the adults that are supposed to be acting as the mature authority figures in your life are actually the children. And now you have to step up as the child and parent them. Yeah. So you cannot look at what's going on today and the source that you're dealing with that's continuing to cause painful results in your life and say, well, that'll finally give the answer to the original decision that was made. The answer does not live with them. The answer then is step 3 for stabilization. It's not, how do I get this person to become what I need? No, it is, Where are the people, the relationships, the opportunities, and the experiences that are already capable of providing what I am seeking? Where are they? That's where we want to put your flow to move forward. Because the original decision that was made, it's not going to seek out people, places, and things to give it more evidence. You have all you need. No, there are people in the world right now who will see how much you care and you want things that are done right and you want to uplift others. And they want to use that for their benefit at your expense. And then it reinforces the original decision. We need to give your subconscious mind a new pattern for progress to draw on, a completely new pattern that says, this is where I need to be. So that way, when someone comes along and they activate the old decision, you will have it come into your awareness as quick as possible and go, oh no, no, I need to move up. I have already been down this slow road to struggle, and I don't need to experience it again. So if this episode resonates with you, download your free hypnosis experience, Reset. It's designed to help you interrupt those old loops and create the space for awareness to where what you achieve is because it brings you out in a wonderful way on your journey. Not going back to a decision that was in a situation that should have never been there to start with. So, healing, wholeness, thriving, and a life by design does not begin when other people change, when the apology arrives, when the past becomes different. It starts when you understand the wound was never qualified to tell you who you are. And when you stop asking the bad to become good to you, you can begin investing your life in who you really are at your healthiest. Before you go, I have a gift for you. If you've been listening to these episodes and finding yourself questioning old beliefs, wrestling with difficult realities, and wondering how to move forward without pushing yourself into exhaustion, I've created a gifted hypnosis experience called Renewal Reset. It's designed to help you release those outdated truths, let go of misaligned hopes, and stop the painful pushing that so often keeps you stuck. This guided experience will help you quiet the noise, reconnect with your own wisdom, and create forward movement from a place of clarity rather than pressure. You can claim your gifted hypnosis experience at dawnlandrum.com and then click on the tab that says Gifted Hypnosis Experience, or it might say free. That's dawnlandrum.com. And until next time, blessings on your brilliance and how you bring the beauty of you to the world around all of us.